What's happening, guys? Today's another day on the channel. I just blinded myself because I looked at another light. But yeah, we're kicking the chair. We're having a good day today. Today we're gonna try to get the motor completely assembled with the transmission on it. I'm gonna have to figure out how I can get the motor onto the ground so that I can put the transmission on it. Maybe what I could do is I could try to like get the jack under there or something like that and then hold it up while I pull it off and then lower it down, and we'll figure that part out. But yeah, we need to get this motor on the ground so we can move it over to our other side over here so we can keep it in the center, bolt our transmission up to it, put our clutch on and everything like that. Next time we come in, we'll grab the crane and we'll just drop her in, start bolting things back up, and we should have it running this weekend. If it's not running this weekend, there's something wrong and I'm going to be really upset, but we need to have it running this weekend. We're running out of time. So yeah, we're going to get this thing done this weekend, and let's just go ahead and start jumping onto this. I cleaned up the lower oil pan here. We got to just dust her off with some brake clean and some little bit of stuff here, blow some air onto it to get the dust off it, get that, meaning rust. Clean off this a little bit more, blow it out. I cleaned up the seal here pretty good. We'll go over it again with some brake clean and some other stuff, and then we'll put her all together there. That's this. On the clutch disc here, I just cleaned this up with a sanding wheel, so this is pretty good there. Basically all I do is just rough up the surface again, and I just keep running the clutch on it. Eventually I'll get it fully machined, but right now it doesn't really matter. So yeah, let's go ahead, clean this up, clean that up, get it on the motor. And everything should be tip-top shape and ready to go back together. So let's go ahead and start jumping into it now. Okay, so I just did the dry fit. When you clean off something that has bearings in here, I was told from somebody else from the past that you're not supposed to use like brake cleaner to clean something that has bearings around it. So what I did was I used a PB blaster. I sprayed the whole bottom of this thing while it was upside down, and it was while it was facing right side up. And then I sprayed it off with some air and cleaned it off as good as I could. We're going to run it really quick, and then we're going to clean, and then we're going to drain all the oil out of it. I just did the dry fit of the oil pan, and the oil pan seems to fit on there perfectly. No hang-ups, no nothing. Everything lines up the way it's supposed to, so we're good to go there. The only thing is that the dipstick is kind of like a little bent up right now, but we'll straighten it out when we put it back in. So that's the main thing there, but let's go ahead and start sealing this oil pan up so we can get it all together, and then we can finally just get the car back together so we can drive it again. So yeah, let's go ahead, put this oil pan on here, and then we're going to go ahead and put the lower oil pan on there and get that onto there as well. So let's go ahead and do that stuff now. Okay, so upper oil pan is on. I put a little bit too much RTV on this thing, and now it's kind of leaking everywhere out the sides, and it's probably all on the bottom on that side too. Let's hope it doesn't get into the oil pickup, but yeah, let's go. Now we're going to put the oil pickup on, like I just said. Then we're going to put the baffling plate that goes here, and then I believe, yeah, then we put the actual oil pan on, the lower oil pan on, which is the extended pan that I have over here. So we got to clean up a couple things, and then we should be able to get this thing on. So first off, let's get this thing in right here. This is the oil pickup. I cleaned out inside. I cleaned out the outside. For this thing here, should have got another seal. Oh, I do have seals. They're right here. This seal will probably work perfect right there. Oh, it's a little small. A little small. So we'll figure this seal out and we'll be right back. Okay, so this seal is out of this blue container here. Yes, it's probably not rated for oil inside the motor, and it probably will deteriorate, but I'd rather take the lower oil pan off than take the front cover off and then have to do that over again. So what we're going to do, just to ensure it a little bit, is we're going to put a little bit of red silicone here. This is Nissan red from Japan, so it's got all the Japanese writing on it. And we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of red silicone on there. And then we're going to put our gasket into there, and then we're going to put some more silicone around the edges here, and then we'll put it into the actual block over there, and then we'll have it all sealed up. So this, we're not going to put as much silicone, but we're going to put enough so that it'll seal it up nice and tight. So let's go ahead and clean this surface off again, and we'll start siliconing some stuff up and putting it in. Okay, so this is how it is. Cleaned off the very inside of it in there. Doesn't really have any silicone on it there. It's just all around the edges and everything. Silicone inside the hole, inside the ring where the gasket sits, and all the way around it. So we should be able to put this in now, and we should have a nice tight seal. So let's go ahead and get that onto that right there. Okay, so lower windage tray, oil pickup, lower oil pan is on. Now we're gonna clean up the upper oil pan is on. Now we're gonna clean off the surface on the lower oil pan, clean off our bolts, gasket sealer up that stuff, gasket maker up this, a lot less than I did with that upper oil pan. And then we're going to bolt that down, and we're gonna have to use our T-handle screws, or T-handle Allen sockets here, because we don't have like Allen keys just yet. And yeah, we'll have to use those things. So let's go ahead, start gasketing this stuff up and getting it onto the motor now. Okay, so we cleaned off this. This has been cleaned here, so we didn't need to really clean this. We cleaned this just a little bit more here. Now we're gonna put RTV onto this and onto this here. We have to flip the motor back over, and then we have to put the pan up, because the baffling in here, if you flip this upside down to try to put it on, the baffling just gets in the way there, and then it won't actually seal up. So we have to put this on facing straight up and put it onto the motor, and then we'll have to just buzz a couple of those bolts into there really quick, and then we should be able to go, flip it back over and then finish off the rest of it. So let's go ahead, get this oil pan onto here so we can finish up the little things we need to do. We're going to get all the accessories on. We're going to tighten up some clamps that we need to tighten up, and then this motor will be ready to go right back in for the weekend. So let's go ahead and hit this thing up. Lower oil pan on. We're going to clean up some more of this silicone later on when we actually get some, when it all finally dries up. Like this one up here isn't dry, but like up here is dry, so we could try to clean off some more of this. It should just kind of flake off now, and I should be able to pull it off. So yeah, we'll clean that off later. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get the power steering pump here, alternator over here, and then we're going to need to change over our pulley to put our pulley onto this. We got to pull the bolts off of our old water pump and then put those onto here so we can use that. And we should be good to go with most of this stuff here, guys. Let's check this to make sure that this works. Yep, that works. On one car that I did, it didn't work, so I had to take the lower oil pan back off to fix it, and that sucked. So yeah, all this stuff works. Let's go ahead, get those accessories on, and that'll probably be, then we're gonna have to try to figure out how to get the motor off of the stand. If we can't get the motor off the stand today, then we will wait until later on to actually bolt everything back up, but hopefully we don't have to, so we could just get it off the stand. So we're gonna put on the alternator, the power steering pump right now. It's only a couple bolts, the 3 bolts on the back right there. And it bolts up to 1, 2, 3 right there. And then we should be all good to go. Oh, it actually has 4. It bolts right there. So put those 4 bolts on and it's all set. We're putting on the alternator now. I got the power steering pump on this side, the 4 bolts. Get this thing on here now. There's 2 bolts that go into the upper oil pan. They're 2 12s. And then there is 3 more bolts that go 1, 2, 3 up here. And that holds the bulk of the alternator on here. Push this up, put that like that, get our other bolts that hold the alternator to that bracket, bolt that on, which is right here. So this goes like this. This one here goes in there like that. This long bolt goes through the side here. And then this bolt, this nut here goes on the outside. And I need to find a washer for it, actually. Let me get a washer for it. So when we pull out our handy dandy parts bin here, 12. There we go. There we go. Slide that onto there. Boom. It's on there. Okay. Now I need to go over here. So pretty much everybody should know about the 2-nut trick. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. So pretty much you just take 2 nuts and then you just tighten them together and then you turn these things off. And then hopefully you don't mess it up so you can use it again. Most water pumps come with these things, but I guess mine did not. So we're going to reuse the old ones. Which they're still good. They're not bad. And then, to make sure they don't come loose, we're going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on it. Just put that into there. And hold it. There. And you grab your 2 wrenches. And you just take the nuts off. And you do that for all of those. And then you put your water pump pulley on. So we'll be back when the water pump pulley is on. Okay, so now we're already together here. We got the power steering pump on. We got the water pump pulley on. We need one more bolt there. We got the alternator on. The whole thing is back together. Oil pan, upper oil pan. So the last thing that we're gonna do on the back of the motor over here is we need to come back here and we need to smear some RTV around these rear half moons here so that these things don't leak. So this is old RTV on there now. So we can take that off even though nobody's gonna see it there. And then we need to get a clamp for this, which can be done in the car or next time we're here. I'll just bring a clamp. The main thing that we got to figure out now is how to get this off the stand so I can bring it over there so that I can put the transmission on it. So let's go ahead and see if I can figure out how to do this and get it off of here. I really, really hope I don't drop this thing on the ground. So ooh, that could be an idea. So what I'm going to try to do is, let's try to do this. Grab this here. We're going to, there should be more than one hole on this thing. Yeah, there is. So we're going to put this into there now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move this over here. And slowly pull it down to the ground so that we can get it down on the ground. And just for added help, we'll actually use this. I'm trying to improvise here, so I'm trying to do as much as we can. So I'm going to try to get the oil pan to rest onto this first, and then we'll turn this and we'll get it to go down smoother. So let's go ahead. Okay, not too bad there. Throw it on the motor mount. Okay, right there. And we'll hold this. It's going just really slow, so. Okay. pretty close to the ground now. Don't ever try this at home because just do it the right way. I'm trying to get this thing done, so that's why I'm kind of doing it this way. And then we're going to run into a problem where like the turbo side is going to hit, so we need to figure out how we're going to get this thing off now. So there, okay, and now we should be able to go like this. Now we're on a jack. Seriously perched. So, it's very sketchy. Seriously, don't ever do that at home. It's not worth risking dropping your $3,000 motor and breaking your intake plenum on the ground. So, now we're gonna. Yeah, that's why you don't do that. The filmer's having technical difficulties today. So, we're going to get it back on there. We're going to, let's do it this way. So we don't ding our wheels, we got to go that way. Boom. Okay, we're in the position now. Tilt it up, take it off, put it down, take off our bolts, grab our flywheel, which is over there, bolt that sucker up, bolt the new clutch onto it, get the transmission on it. Last step of the day. So I went to go put the clutch on and I realized as soon as I came over here to clean off the back of the motor, the one, I don't have a rear main seal, which I should get, and then two, I don't have the tool to pull out my pilot bearing. So I'm going to bring both of those. I have a pilot bearing. I do not have a rear main seal, but that rear main seal doesn't look bad anyways. It's not leaking or anything, and I didn't even touch it, so I don't think we're going to change it. We're just going to leave it. But I am going to pull out that pilot bearing and put in a new pilot bearing because I like to change my pilot bearing every single time. So I'm going to bring the tool next time, bring some clamps to put onto there, and do that half moon seal thing there, and just get the clutch onto this thing so that we can get it running. I might come tomorrow and do that off camera just so that I could get the car to get, just so I could get the transmission on it and finish that part up, so that literally it's just going to be coming here, throwing the motor in, and getting it running and driving. We have to clean up our, we have to charge up our battery in the trunk, and we have to just get everything here back together. We have to bring a steering wheel puller so we can pull the steering wheel off and get the steering wheel straighter. And then we should be able to just get the rest of the car ready. So yeah, that's about all that we could do today. I'm going to do a little cleanup real quick, but that's about it, guys. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button, comment, share, do all the good stuff. And I hope to see you guys in the next one with more SR20 Rebuild.